I am the bad street beater Miranda Gordy. If you love wrestling and I love wrestling, then we love wrestling.
Welcome to Women on Wednesday. Ooh. Now, today I'm gonna go down my memory lane. Growing up, there's this tag team. They was on Bass Street, USA back in the day, right? But they had this one person in the group who used to beat people down. You know what I'm saying? Mr. Terry Gordy. And who would have thought that he would have a daughter that would now be wrestling, beating people down the same way her dad did? We are greatly appreciative to have Miranda Gordy here with us today. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Hey, I appreciate y'all having me. So
We appreciate you coming on. You're kind of like wrestling royalty, if we really want to talk about it. You're the daughter of a legend out here. But before we get into that, this might be an obvious answer to a question, but my first question I always ask is, why do you love wrestling, or what started your love for wrestling?
my dad, obviously, my dad. I didn't ask to be in it, but I'm here and I'm having a good time. Also, my brother, and then Michael, who has been like a dad to me. So it's just been. I actually have a cousin too that wrestled in Japan. So really, I got a lot of family in this, and so it's just always been a part of my life. And here I am, finally doing it. People asked for it forever, and I finally caved, and now I'm here.
When did you come into wrestling?
I have been wrestling matches for a little over 2 years now.
Oh,
So I
so
started training in September of 2018, and I debuted in June of 2019.
ooh,
Yeah.
2009. So you debuted in 2019, and then I'm guessing the pandemic hit. Were
Yeah,
you able?
shortly. So I had just gone to Japan when everything kind of started shutting down, and as soon as I get back, the whole world stopped. So, so yeah, I was only like maybe 7 months in when everything shut down. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Seven, two, and look at, and she was just on the NWA Empowerrr show. The free birds, the free babes. Who did you make up the name? Because if I look at it, since you got the lineage right there as being a daughter, I would think that you would be the leader of this free babe group.
Though I may be the leader, I did not come up with the name. That was a Mickey James idea. She called me and, she talked it over and asked if I was cool with it. And I was like, sure, absolutely. It makes sense. My dad had some NWA history, and they wanted to get a bunch of girls together. She thought we were a good fit, and here we are.
How, before I give it to Maddie, um, how was it? Because I was there at NWA Empowerrr. Great job. You didn't win your match, but when I told Maddie, I even said it in the review, when you and Colleen King went head up with each other and started throwing the forearms back and forth, I said she belongs here. She belongs here. I like it.
I
It was like
appreciate that.
what they Jordan Gray say, it was like a house fight to me. I was like, look at this, they going at it. Um, Maddie, let me give it to you before I go, because I got some more to talk about.
Yeah,
So
you were talking about Empower because he was
I,
there.
I was there. Yes, I
He was
was.
there. I was watching it from my TV, but it was just as enjoyable from home. Thank you, Miranda, again for this time. Appreciate it. And you were great in Empower. So, but I'll leave that. I'll leave that for you. So you say that it took a while for you to get into wrestling with people like asking you and whatnot. So what finally was the thing that threw you to the point where you said, okay, I'm doing this?
Well, a couple years ago, like 2018, a promoter in the Texas area had the Von Erich boys, Ross and Marshall. He was bringing them in, and he's like, "Just come out. You don't have to do anything. Just come meet them, and if you want to set up something, like either for you or your dad, you can." And of course, I didn't know even what merch was at the time, as far as for me. But he's like, "Just come in, hang out with them. They want to meet you too." And I did it. And I'm like, okay, this is pretty fun. I could see myself like just coming to this because everyone was so nice, and it felt good. Like for the longest time, I felt like wrestling took my dad, so I wasn't really interested in it. It kind of hurt my heart and all that. So to go and like have people tell me how much they loved my dad and how much it meant to them, like that was kind of like like something that healed me. And I'm like, okay, I really like this, instantly gravitated toward it. And then just from there, I kept doing it, and I got into a manager position. And I got a spot where I got to punch somebody, and the crowd popped really loud. And I'm like, well, I guess I'll be a wrestler now. I'm like, I have to do this. I want to punch everyone. So now I just punch people for a living. Yes.
It sounds like so much fun, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Especially when you feel the energy off of the crowd. It's like, I'm doing something awesome, and now I get to do it every weekend.
Yes, I love it. So talking about the crowd, when you're getting ready to come out to wrestle, what goes through your mind typically? Like, how do you mentally prepare yourself for what's ahead?
Oh, just trying to think of what I can do in the match, and then like just being out there and thinking about just being out there, really hyping. Of course, this weekend I got to hype up a team, and one of my teammates, she's young, she's only had like 10 matches, Jazzy, she's like super green. So right before we were going out, I was like, hey, hyping her up. I was like, hey, no matter what happens, we're on that big stage. You're still the coolest person in the room. Just like letting her know, no matter what happens out there, we're good. We're still good. So just hyping her up. That's what I was doing right before we went out.
It showed really, because you both had such energy, and like you looked like you were ready. She didn't look nervous at all. So
she did so good. Yes,
she did
so good.
She did very, very well. I know that you've been to Japan to wrestle, and I know you've mentioned that you'd like to go back. Is that still something that's in the cards for you at some point?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So that's, everyone remembers the Freebirds, and I grew up with the All Japan Terry Gordy in the 90s when he was teaming with Dr. Death and like Stan Hansen and stuff. So like, that's what I remember. And so like, I've always been fascinated by that. And like of my dad's matches, I like the All Japan stuff. So when I got to go to Japan, people were just, man, it's a whole nother world. Like the fans were just so into it, and they treated me like royalty, of course, just because they respected my dad so much. And it's cool to be over there. Of course, I've not seen even half of the states, but like going over there, it's like, oh, wow. Just being over there and being with the people and the different culture is so cool to me. And I definitely want to go back. I like their style. I like the style of the Japanese matches. So that's something that if I get the opportunity, I definitely want to try out.
Yeah, people do say they love wrestling in Japan. So I would love it if you got that opportunity, since you want to do it so badly. So here's hoping. Here's hoping.
No, thank you.
World, the universe falls into place.
Thank you.
Yeah. Once you debuted, the pandemic hit and stuff, but you never really stopped. Like I was looking at like all your matches, and I'm like, you never really stopped. You were going. So thinking about all the matches you've had so far, what can you say has been to date probably your favorite match?
Honestly, now it was the match I had this last weekend. I got to help some girls out and like do the tag team thing and use my legacy, and like we killed it. And so I'm gonna put that one on top right now.
Well, no, and it was a great match. So
Thank you.
I think as the years go by, you're gonna keep adding on to that list. But I think a good day is always good. Like, you know, when you ended on a good note, and I think that show ended beautifully.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think that's definitely one to have on top for now, definitely. So this is probably my last question before I move it on to Terry. But I always want to know, like, what's the perfect day in the wrestler's life, like where it doesn't involve like wrestling, but maybe it does, because that might be your perfect day. So describe the perfect day for Miranda Gordy.
Perfect day. As far as like, well, we'll say like a wrestling day. The perfect day. You get a workout in the morning. You get to see all your friends backstage and hang with them for most of the day, and then you go have like a awesome match. Win a title, of course, because that's what we're all here to do is win a title, get paid, and take all your friends, all your wrestling friends, and go eat and maybe have a couple beers. Like that's part of the reason I do it. I mean, like the matches are cool, but I get to hang out with my friends backstage, and then we get to go like hang out afterwards and talk about fun stuff or our matches or whatever. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, that's what makes life worth it, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Thank you, Miranda.
Yeah, thank you.
Maddie. What Mission Pro show did we go to that you was at? What month was that?
In February.
Was it February?
Yeah, it was. It's right there. Wishes granted.
Oh, okay. So
I didn't catch.
Miranda was on Empty Promises. Okay.
Yeah, I was in December. Yeah.
Yeah, I missed it.
I was there. Was that the match with Killer Kate? I know you won the match and the championship was on the line because you were the.
I have the matches.
She was the women's champion of. I'm gonna say women's champion of Texas. I can't think of what it was right now. I wish I had my poster here. But Miranda, let me ask you this: how did it feel?
Yes. Miranda Gordy defeated Killer Kate to retain the SWE Women's title. I have your lineup here, Miranda.
Yes, good with that. So, Miranda, I have to ask you. This is just a personal question for me. We took a picture and you had your hand like this or something.
Oh yeah, that's this.
Yeah,
it's Nabes.
What is it?
Nabes, Nabes. It's like that. The Freebirds used to do it all together. It's called Nabes, and it means like brotherhood, like neighbors. So yeah, so that's what. If you ever see me do it, they started it, and I've literally been doing it my whole life, and in family pictures and stuff, which is weird, but I'm in a wrestling family, so we did it. Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay, because I looked at the picture, I was like, what's going on here?
Right.
But
right.
good, I like it. So growing up in a wrestling household, I have to ask you because your dad is actually in like he's in a match from my first live wrestling event that I like really remember. The Great American Bash 1989 War Games. Road Warriors, Rock and Roll Express, Dr. Death, Freebird, Samoan SWAT team. And like I remember that. That's like one of my all-time, might be my top favorite match if anybody asks me, but that's like embedded in my head. So what's like one of your favorite matches growing up, one of your dad's favorite matches, or any match just growing up in a wrestling household?
So of my dad's matches and my favorite, there's one, and you can actually watch it on YouTube. It's him and Kenta Kobashi for All Japan Pro Wrestling. It was like 1993, I believe. And like just the energy from it, because Kenta's like really good. Like he's one of the best ever. And I think he was just kind of starting out in that time. And just the energy, and there's a part where like Kenta's firing up on my dad, just chopping him, and my dad just like gets the wide eyes and steps out and gets in his face and is just like, not today. And I'm like, yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good time.
Found it right there.
Yeah, it's like 3 minutes in, I think. I don't know the exact time. It's like 2 or 3 minutes in, and like, yeah, my dad. And of course the commentator's like, oh, Japanese commentator.
Yeah,
So yeah, I just love the energy from that.
I've seen that. I've seen that as a gift so many times, so I knew exactly what you was talking about. So we have to ask this: how did it feel just being at NWA Empower? I mean, because you had some of the top women in the world there wrestling, um, and then getting that call from Mickey James. Were you expecting to get the call? Because it was when she was announcing names, I was like, oh, I've seen Jazzy Yang twice. I was like, oh. Then I saw your name. I was like, I seen her at Mission Pro. Then I saw Haley J, and I was like, I seen her at OVW, but I've never heard of them as a group together. But how did it feel getting that phone call from Mickey James?
Right. Well, Jazz, worked with her at SWE. She was like, hey, you're going to NWA. And this was a couple months ago. And I'm like, okay, that's my birthday. I'll do that. Absolutely. I'll absolutely take that opportunity. And then, yeah, like probably a month ago, Mickey called and she's like, I got a tag team idea for you. We want to use that legacy and, get this because we have a tournament coming up. We're bringing the titles back. And I'm like, okay. Like I had never met Haley before. I'd never met Jazzy before. So I actually just found out that my brother and Jimmy Yang worked together for a little bit. And I'm like, oh, full circle. This is going to work out. And so, yeah, she put us together and like this is kind of her project that she's doing. And hopefully we have some future stuff. But as far as getting the phone call, I was so excited. And just being there in that locker room, oh my gosh, like just the talent and everyone was so great. Like that's the fun part of it. Like it's cool if everybody's top talent and on top of the world and stuff, but like being in a fun locker room and it was fun the whole night. That's what really makes it for me.
Maddie, after the event, it was a bar and a bunch of people came walking in the bar, and then I know we went to a taco place and a Mexican place. So, everybody ate there. But it was great energy after the show from all the women. I saw Miranda, I think, walking towards the bar. She was to the side. You didn't win your match, though. So I got to ask you this. I was on Twitter earlier, and I saw you and Kylie King going back and forth saying anytime you want it, you was like, we want another one. They told you to bring it on. So, I mean, is this something that you're going to be actively looking into? Because you started, I like how you keeping the match, the feud going.
Well, if I ever see her, I'm going to tell her how I feel. Yeah. Like I said, they think they're cool taking my eyelash off, bunch of cheating bullies. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was three y'all. Somebody did get involved from your side throwing a jacket up.
Listen, I don't know. I was in the match. I just know that I had stuff to do, and if a jacket got thrown, it got thrown, and I didn't see it. The ref didn't see it. And that's all I know.
Not on Miranda. She didn't do it.
I see what she doing, Maddie. I'm ready to wrap this up. I'm not. I can't take it. Now this is gonna be interesting because usually I lean in like this, and I look in the camera. And I asked this question: The Rock or Stone Cold?
The Rock.
You just made him happy.
Okay.
Listen, there's no right or wrong answer on that, but
Not, right?
Whenever someone says The Rock, that's how he reacts.
When you hear The Rock, you just like, oh. Because in a lot of circles, Stone Cold is just that top guy, but when you hear The Rock, it makes you just got it. Miranda, now, you've been here 2 years. Before we do our last spot here, I got to ask, is there 2 to 3 competitors out here that's on the indie scenes or anywhere in the world that you would like to face, or you have on a list that you want to face?
Oh man, I mean, I'm always down to fight, so it could be anybody. Someone that I've kind of been like following, Heidi Katrina. Like gosh, I think she's beautiful, and she's like going to Japan and then Europe and stuff. Um, her, obviously, some people. I mean, there's some people up in NXT right now. Ember Moon and Zoe Starks, they were a part of my training, and so they would be like the highlight right now. You know, getting to like have a good match with your trainers and like just show them what I got now. You know, let them be proud of me, and so let them know that would be my top. But like Heidi Katrina, there's a couple other people. Obviously Thunder Rosa again. So that we've had like 2 DQs. We wrestled twice. It's been 2 DQs. So I'd like to just really like third time's a charm. See who really can pull through on that. There's so many talented people out there. So we'll say those 2 for now.
All right. Heidi Katrina, maybe one day against her trainers, Ember Moon and Zoe Stark, and Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa, if you see this, because I'll send it to you. make a match happen. No DQ, since it happened with DQ. We need a winner.
Right.
Make it happen.
Now it's that time. What we do in our last spot, Miranda, is we want you to put yourself over. This is where you let our viewers know your social media, any ways they can support you, any ways they can contact you to get some merch, buy some merch. We just want you to go out and put yourself over.
All right. I'll start. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all under Miranda Gordy. You can find merch on Pro Wrestling Tees, prowrestlingtees.com/Gordy. I even have some Terry Gordy shirts on there. Pretty much anywhere wrestling is. I'm all over the country as far as promotions. And I'll have merch shows. So that I keep it simple, I guess.
Ooh, keep it simple. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Yes. Maddie, put yourself over. Sorry, let the people know how they can get in touch with you.
Oh, follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Top Rope Squishy, and on my YouTube channel, it's also Top Rope Squishy. Check out the merch, and happy belated birthday, Miranda.
Thank you.
Happy belated birthday, Miranda. Happy birthday to you. Happy. I don't sing that.
He's gonna go the whole way.
I was about to say something. Oh, if you're listening to this on the podcast, go to the YouTube, watch this, see who Miss Gordy is. We'll have a video to go with it so you can see her wrestling, because here it's about the wrestling with us. If you're on the YouTube, go ahead to the podcast platform. Give us a rate, 5 stars. We love it. Hey, go follow her on all social media. Tell her who you want to see her face. Who do I want to see her face? Got a match. I don't know if I should put it out there because people take my matches, but I want to see Miranda Gordy versus the Woad.
Oh, see, now I've teamed with Woad, but I could definitely take her on too. I like Woad. Yeah, absolutely.
I've seen them team together. I've seen them both at Mission Pro. I'm just saying.
It'd be a good time.
All right.
Hell yeah. My God.
Now, Maddie, thanks for joining us. You'll see Maddie again. She's always here. Miranda Gordy, if you didn't watch NWA Empowerrr, please go on Fight TV, buy the replay. You can go on Title Match, see her on Mission Pro Empty Promises. You can see her on SWE Fury TV. You can see her all across the country on different other shows. Also, go on YouTube, type in Miranda Gordy versus, and watch the matches come up. That's what I do, what I want to find out about people. But I'm Terry, Trady, whatever you want to call me. And like I always say, if I love wrestling and you love wrestling, then we love wrestling. It's too sweet for the culture.